We're now being joined by Keri Melendez. Take a couple from in the room, and if you have a question for her, please press the raise hand button now.
Congratulations on the win, Keri. That was quite the finish. A little bit of everything on that finishing sequence. Can you talk to me about how you're feeling after that one?
Oh, I feel great. I had a little rough camp. I know everyone goes through little injuries, but I went through a couple injuries that were stopping me from certain things that I wanted to do. So I got a tad bit emotional after. I was like, yes. And everything that I worked on showed.
Yeah, no doubt. Was there any concern that you would pull out of this fight?
No, I was going to come in no matter what. But actually it was possibly supposed to be scheduled earlier and it just got pushed back. So no, but I need to do this. I wanted to fight at the end of the year, and I even possibly wanted to jump on again, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah. Is that what you're looking for? Maybe December?
Possibly.
Gotcha. And
you wouldn't hear me saying that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So walk me through that finish. You hurt her to the body, and then you pounced, went for the submission instead of trying to pound her out.
Well, I knew she was really tough. And Gilbert kept saying, and even beforehand the fight, they were like, go to the body. She takes a lot of shots in the face, and then she recovered well against Avonite and got the choke or triangle choke. I can't remember what she tapped her out. And so when I just heard her, I wanted to get the finish, and I was like, the easiest way is to submit her or make her tap or put her to sleep.
And you did miss weight for this fight by a super, super small margin. Guess, what do you attribute that to?
I was pissed. I ran out of time. I had some miscalculations. I don't have a problem making 116. With the COVID rules, I was really on track, and not having the bathtub messed me up, and learning how to trick my body with the little sauna. I just little things that are probably too much, little details. I didn't put on the sauna suit in there. I ran out of time, and I was like, just give me even 10 more minutes and I'll just take it at that point too off, but they didn't. So I was a little bummed, and she got 20% of my purse. So, I paid for it.
Yep. And so you sound pretty confident that you could make the 116-pound mark if you tried again, but you told me before the fight you were thinking about moving up. So is that still the plan, to move up to 125?
Well, this is my last fight on my contract, and I love Scott Coker, and I do want to resign, and I think the bigger fights would be at 125 if I stay with Bellator. So that's why I want to move up, and I think I can, and I wonder how I'll feel a little better, because 116 is, it's really discipline, a lot of discipline. But since Bellator is promoting the 125, I want to get in the mix.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take a couple from the internet here, starting with Jim Varsalone.
Congratulations. You mentioned the injury. I'm curious then, and obviously you look great in your fight, but did it change the game plan going into the fight?
No, the type of injury I had didn't. No, it didn't. There was some positions, I think if I got in, I would, instead of going for a certain position, then I would have gave it up. But in any of the striking department, it wasn't bothersome at all.
Today, leading up to the fight, was it a little more anxious just because you had that injury and you were dealing with it and then you felt fine? But was there a little more anxious because of that?
I don't know. Yeah, I think there was a lot of struggles in training camp, but everyone has struggles. I mean, I don't think really any fighter goes in 100%. So I'm not, out of the ordinary, but I did have a little bit more just anxiety. It's been a while, and just a little bit, but it's fun. If I wasn't nervous, I wouldn't be me. I think it gives me my little edge, and that's how I am.
And Keri, do you watch your fights then obviously afterwards, look at it, pick out things, go through that whole process? And how important is that for you?
I do. I analyze. I watch a lot of tape. I analyze. Even right now, when I was walking out, I told Gilbert, sorry I didn't throw in the hooks soon enough. I snapped on the choke, and I heard him yell, put in your hooks. And I was like, oh, sorry. It was a little delay a bit. So right away, I know that, and I'll have to watch. I think she hit me with a couple jabs, being a southpaw, nothing that fazed me, but yes, I will go back and I'll look at see what I can improve on.
And then lastly, you mentioned about Bellator and the options coming up. Are you going to explore other options as well? Is this something, let me deal with Bellator first and then look at other things, or you just want to look at everything right now?
Well, I love Scott Coker. He's been so awesome to me. And I would love to resign. I want some big fights that build me up better. And I think that's in the 125 division. So I'll have to retalk with, Gilbert, he's my manager, and Scott, and figure it out what is the best option. But I'll do what they say, but I hope if they decide to do a strawweight tournament, I would love that.
Dan?
Hey, Keri, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
You were telling us before the fight about fighting multiple times in 2021, about 5 or 6 times, if I'm not mistaken.
3 or 4, but 5 or 6. I hope if I come out with no injuries, like today, I'm still dealing with the lingering thing, but it's nothing super serious. So, but
well,
yes.
If you were to fight multiple times, especially if you were to maybe get a December fight, is there anybody you have your eye on, whether at 125 or 115? Anybody in particular?
Let's see. I really don't have anything in particular. I just started talking about I was kind of flirting with the idea of 125 for a while, but I don't really have anyone on my eye. I think, all of the roster that he's promoting, any one of them is a good match. I don't know if he signed 115. I know Ava Knight is 115, but I know that Emilee beat her. So I beat Emilee. I want something that's going to, bring me up and a bigger fight for me.
And while you were dominant inside the cage, is there anything you believe you can improve on for next time? Like truly that you believe that you'd be better off 100% on next time around?
I always want to improve my all-around game. I got hit with a jab from her, and I didn't like that from the southpaw because I don't think she's that fast. But all my game I want to improve on. I want to keep putting my whole MMA game together. I want my grappling to be great for MMA, and I want my wrestling to be great for MMA, and I want to show it.
Thank you, and good luck for upcoming if you happen to get the strawweight tournament.
Thank you.
Donna?
Hey, Keri, congratulations on the victory. You mentioned earlier about how the COVID restrictions affected the weight cut issue. Could you go into a bit more detail about what exactly, in terms of was it the quarantine? Was it, you mentioned not having the bath as an issue. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that in the major promotions, this hasn't been more of an issue.
Well, I think Bellator is doing a really great job with the COVID. I came in really confident because I dieted down really, really well. But I didn't realize there was no bathtub. And I'm so used to having that and waking up at a certain time. And because of the COVID, there's some restriction times in the weight room. And sometimes I like to just wake up and do it late night and things like that. So I think Bellator is doing a great job with the COVID rules. It was my bad for not planning, not having a bathtub and that kind of issue.
In terms of what's next for you, of course, you've mentioned multiple times now before the fight in this post-fight presser right now that you want to stay with Bellator. You've got plans with Bellator. You love Scott Coker. You love how they're working. But are there offers on the table? Like, does your husband, your manager, talk to you about the other offers that are out there for you?
I'll have to talk to him. I think we were focusing on this fight. So maybe if you want to call Gilbert, I think he'll be able to answer that a little better. But I wanted to focus on this, and we just discussed that maybe since it was my last contract, moving up to 125. That we don't have anything set in stone. It's just I want the bigger fights.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Santiago?
Hi, Keri. Congratulations on a beautiful performance. Did your
Thank you
daughter
very much.
watch your fight as well? And did you already spoke to her?
I didn't get to speak with her. I came right here, but I don't know if you can see. I think it's on the back. But it says my daughter's name, Layla K, really big. And I know she's watching. I know she watched. I don't know if she watched it live. She might have waited till after. But definitely, she's my biggest fan. And I didn't even get to talk to her today. I was staying in the zone. So sending her all my love. And I hope she even sees this interview.
Enjoy the victory, Keri.
Thank you.
Keith?
Hey, Keri, it's Keith Schilling from Sherdog. Beautiful performance tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
The thing that really surprised me is how aggressive she came at you, and you kind of used her aggression against her as you were kind of pulling her right into your right hand, which seemed like couldn't miss tonight. Were you surprised about how aggressive she was?
No, Gilbert watched some tape on her and said that she comes out like that. And I think she wasn't going to stand with me, and she really wanted to tie me up and take me to the ground. So we planned for her to come aggressive. And she wasn't she was more of a kicker, and she looks like she has some thicker legs, and she wasn't really too much of a puncher. So we were willing to eat some punches and just stay away from the kicks, and set up my right hand, set up my left hook, set up a lot of things.
My last question for you is, you talked about the injuries you've had to deal with, trying to get past those, but you also have to be training. The more time in the gym, the better you get, the more fights you get, more experience, all that. How do you balance that, like wanting to be in the gym, but also getting the necessary rest?
It was a little rough this time, but like I said, everybody goes through it. So I can't really make that a big issue. I know every fighter doesn't come in 100%, but it was a little bit hard to balance this particular little injury. And I had to take at one time like 2 weeks off for the inflammation to go down, maybe even 3. And then coming back in, just like sometimes not spar and certain situations. So I dealt with it, but it did make it more like coming into the fight, just a little bit more emotional.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Go to Kevin.
Hey, Keri, congrats again.
Thank you.
2 questions for you is going in, you're free agent going into this. What are your top 3 negotiation points when it comes to choosing your next destination and what you want in your contract?
Oh my goodness. I'm going to I wish Gilbert was out here because he would definitely be answering that. He's such a good businessman, and he's had wonderful contracts in every contract he has. So we kind of learned a lot from him, and I let him kind of set the standards and then discuss with me after. And we really wanted to talk about that after this fight, after this win, secure this win, and then go back and really talk about what I want in my contract.
All right, last question for me is, COVID has affected everybody differently. Tell us about what it's like managing a life of being a mom and then the life of a fighter together.
It's definitely difficult. And I'm a businesswoman. Gilbert and we run a gym together, and it's been shut down. So training hasn't been the same. We haven't had any classes, just not as much access. Not all our coaches are there. So it's put a lot of pressure on Gilbert for this training camp for myself. But luckily, I have also 2 great training partners, Leslie Smith, Shinju. And so we've been a little team and sticking together during this quarantine. But also just not having the gym open with all the classes. I was a little bit bigger going into this. And it was a little bit harder to manage. But I think now we have it under control. It's been a minute.
Thank you very much, Keri. Congratulations.
Thank you.